Alrighty, howdy, howdy. We're gonna do a little cooking tonight, something a little different. So let's see. I'm gonna start up Whatnot. I'm not gonna be selling on Whatnot, so basically, y'all are gonna be seeing the same thing. Sometimes when I get to doing the auction over there, I forget about YouTube and Facebook. So hopefully everybody can see what's going on. We're gonna go ahead and make something with our microgreens. Let me get my Whatnot stream so I can tell them too. But these are red acre cabbage. I harvested a bunch of them today. You see a big old bowl of it back here, right? And we made a slaw. We made a sauerkraut, a fresh sauerkraut out of it. And we're going to make a Reuben. And since I had everything, I was making a video. I said, well, I've got everything out. Might as well just turn on the camera and we'll do it again. So we're going to make you guys a Reuben. And we're going to show you how to do it with your microgreens. All right, let me get Whatnot started so I don't get behind and start repeating stuff for y'all. So hold on one second here. And whoever pops in here, say hello, say where you're from, and how's the weather? Is it cooling down for anybody yet? We were still like at 95. I think we're going to be in the mid 90s for a week. This will take me just a second over here, guys. Who likes Reubens? Let's see. Start show. All righty. I've got Whatnot started. What is up? Hold on one second. We're going to get started here. Can you all see everything? You can see that down there. We're going to be cooking right here. P. Barton, what's up? All right, my laptop's way over here. So I'm good. Yeah, we're cooking tonight. Hold on one second. Let me get this. I can't see the comments just yet. Let me get the show started. Cooking class. Everybody keeps asking what to do with the microgreens. I'm going to start something called stop garnishing, because that's what it seems like everybody does with microgreens is just garnish, right? I'm going to put quit the garnishing, or you guys come up with some kind of neat like slogan or something that tells people to just quit garnishing with it. JL Keller, what's up? Shirley. Now I see everybody. I can see you over here. I can see the comments. Yeah, I'll do a giveaway. When I get to cooking, I might forget to jump over here and get the giveaways. If y'all want me to take a break, let me know. Here, some seeds if y'all want to jump in there. Tonight's going to be a little different, guys. Whatnot. So you can see, Facebook and YouTube can see. We're going to go ahead and use our red acre microgreens. Guys, this is just a little over a week old. All right. Now I went ahead and harvested some. So I went and made a video and I had all the stuff out. So I thought, well, everything's here. So let me just turn on the camera and we'll do it again. So I figured I'd come in here and show y'all, but I had a bunch of red acre, just like this. That's red acre cabbage. So if you guys grow microgreens, basically this is microgreens, right? You grow microgreens like that, harvest, start over. You can do that over and over and over. So this just like less than 10 days, right? But if you want to get more bang for your buck, you know, same seeds, right? You just get a lot more volume. And I'm going to show you what you can do. Everybody takes these, basically they throw them in a salad, right? Or they garnish. They might put a little dressing on it. They really don't know what to do with it. I keep getting people asking me what to do. But I've also been looking at all the microgreen growers. I'm going to start calling them out. I want to challenge everyone because I want everybody to teach people what to do with these and that they're worth a lot more than just garnish. All right. Here's some pak choi ones that we planted out. So we planted both of these same time. So we got pak choi, red acre cabbage. Now, I'm going to have a video coming out and I'll explain how I made the sauerkraut because that takes a little bit longer. I know you guys don't want to sit here. It had to simmer for about 15, 20 minutes and you don't want to sit here and just wait and Besides that, I don't have a vent hood in here, so the vinegar smell will probably knock me out. Beyond the garnish. There you go. Yeah, I want to do something so, yeah, beyond the garnish. This here, guys, this is red acre cabbage, and we're going to build a Reuben with it, okay? Now, this was easy to make. Let me see if I got Facebook and YouTube can see me too. Tucson 106. Pamela, stay warm. Gloria, what is up? Michigan, very pleasant temperatures. Oh my goodness, I love that. Do you grow cilantro? Yeah, we can grow cilantro. It just takes a lot longer to germinate. Guys, look at this. All right, sauerkraut, right? But this is fresh. I just made it this morning. So, of course, you can always take cabbage, put some salt, do the whole sauerkraut thing, and wait and let it ferment, right? If you don't have time for that, this is fresh because the microgreens are really tender. Okay, so look at this. Look at that bright purple. What's that? Anthocyanins or whatever. They said eat the rainbow. There's your color right there. So this is from those red acre cabbage. And with a little bit of vinegar, it turns it bright red like that, or purple. All we did for this, I'll explain it really quick. We just took a frying pan, chopped up some onions, a little olive oil, sweat the onions, and then tossed in our microgreens. I've got them right here. See, we harvested them, right? So 8 containers like this. And don't worry, I've got a video coming out. I filmed all of that. So there's video coming out, but we took 8 portions of it and cooked it down. This is about half because we've already cooked about 3 or 4 sandwiches today. And what do you call it? So you sweat the onions, and then we tossed in the cabbage. I think it was half a cup of apple cider vinegar, half a cup of real apple juice, and I use an unfiltered, unsweetened apple juice. You can use whichever one you want. And then a little bit of salt and pepper, and I think that's just about it. And when you cook it down, it's just like that. So you can see the onions in there. The onions turn like a pretty pink color. So that is going to be our sauerkraut. If you taste this right now, I can get even the juice tastes like sauerkraut. Oh, a tablespoon of sugar. When I ate that, I taste a tablespoon of sugar, and it kind of counteracts that sour taste. I kind of like that. If you don't like it, you can leave the sugar out. I use stevia. Anyhow, that's going to be part of the sandwich. Now, the other part is dressing. So y'all let me know who's made a Reuben. Who knows what a Reuben is? And what kind of dressing do you put on it? I'm going to make a homemade Russian dressing. So y'all let me know if you... Oh, here goes winner. Who's that? Cack? Congratulations. You won some seeds. When I get a chance, I'll start another giveaway, all right? Here, before we get cooking, let me do one. There we go. All right. Cool deal. All right. So we're going to do a Reuben. I've got my induction cooktop over here. But first, we're going to make a dressing. I'm going to make it with Thousand Island. I used to make it with Thousand Island, but I make it with Russian dressing. Pretty much the same. The only thing, Russian doesn't have, what's that called? The pickles. So like the relish, right? So you can use Thousand Island. I'm going to make a Russian dressing. I love this on it because of the onion. I worked at Cracker Barrel for years, and I don't know if they still have it, but they had a Reuben when I was working there, and we used Thousand Island dressing. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make your homemade Russian dressing, and this is way better than anything you can get in the store. If you want to make your own mayo, you can put all of this into like a magic bullet, put like a couple egg yolks and some olive oil, and you can go ahead and make your own mayo with all of this stuff. To make this short, we're just going to use regular mayo, a little ketchup. This is about a tablespoon of ketchup. It's about half a cup of mayo. You can use more or less. You can use a little bit more ketchup. That's all I'm going to use. I don't really care for the ketchup taste too much. I've got a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of smoked paprika. That gives a little hint of smoke. Oh, I've got to get one more thing, a little kick of hot sauce. I'm going to run and grab that real quick so y'all hang out. And it's salt and pepper. If I forget it, y'all say salt and pepper. So give me 1 second. That giveaway's going, YouTube and Facebook. Let me see if I can drop it. If y'all want to jump over to Whatnot to get in the giveaways, there it is. And you get a $15 credit for jumping over there. I think it's 25 right now. Give me 30 seconds. Somebody count. $30. Did I make it back in 30? A little hot sauce. Who likes this hot sauce? They changed a little bit. Y'all know, like all the little small companies in that, when they get doing good, and then all of a sudden the big private equity comes in and buys them. This is one of the companies, and then all of a sudden they change things up, so it tastes a little bit different, but I still like it. The one with the little wooden top on it, right? But same thing happens with everything. Burt's Bees, most of our anything that's like organic and natural and all of that too. All right, guys. So if you're just joining, red acre cabbage, we made our own sauerkraut. Took only about 15 or 20 minutes. If you let yours grow out a little bit bigger and it stems a little tough, you can go ahead and let it cook. Just let it simmer after you cook it down like that. Let it simmer a little bit longer. That I only let go about 10 minutes. All right, let's make this dressing, and then we're going to put a sandwich together, all right? One thing that makes the Russian dressing is onion, and I got a grater. You can chop it if you like, but you're going to see this is a real fine grater. Like, what's this thing called? Somebody, what's this thing called? It's not a grater. It's a lot smaller. A microplane. Zester. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, for oranges and whatnot, right? All right, so I got a little of that in there. A big chunk fell in. I'm going to pull him out. But yeah, see, it makes it really, really fine. So if you don't mind it chunky, you can go ahead and make it chunky. This is how easy it is. So you go ahead and zest some of those. And this is, I just like this. All the dressings that I get at the store, they got so much stuff in it, and it just tastes a little funny to me. Ketchup. They got no sugar ketchup too, if you like. All right. Like I said, this is just garlic powder and smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika if you want. You can put a little smoke flavor in. Oh, here goes the winner. Shigra, congratulations. Latane, I saw your name. You got slow rolled. You're pretty close. She wins like almost every week. All right, here we go. Both of those in there. This is the hot sauce. I like a little bit of that for just a little kick. You don't want to, Reubens aren't really spicy, right? But just when you've got all of your tangy going on with this, like I said, we put a little bit of sugar to balance out the sour and tangy, and then a little bit of heat. And then you got your mayo and your ketchup. And what did I say? If I forget, y'all let me know. Salt. A little pepper. There you go. Who's that? Decor. All right. And then if you got one of these little beaters like this, you just use that. You can smell the smoke. Guys, especially if you make your own mayo. I didn't want to bother y'all trying to do that and having the bullet out here making mayo. But even this, if you just do this, this is better than anything you can buy in the store. So there's your ranch dressing. Ranch. Russian. A spoon. So we're almost set. There's our Russian dressing. There's our slaw. I'm going to move it up here. Who's growing their own microgreens? Isn't that cool? We'll talk about this. You guys make sure you're following, and we'll do demos on how to put these things together. We're just doing a quick cooking thing tonight, but we'll talk about this and we'll have them for auction. We're not going to be selling anything tonight. There's stuff in the bin if you like, but we'll do this on maybe Friday night. Somebody got a microgreen grower. Awesome. All right, let me get the cooker. We're going to put a Reuben together. You guys are going to see how good this is. And like I said, so this is Russian. If you want to do Thousand Island, basically Thousand Island is about the same thing. It just has pickle relish in it, right? All right. I'm going to see if this works. I'm not sure. I haven't used this pan before, but it's a big pan. Looks like an induction one. I think it's one that came with this. Nope. All right, I got to go get a different pan that works with this. All right, give me 30 seconds more. I tried to make it back. Here, since I had to leave, y'all get another giveaway. Giveaway. Thank you for sharing the show. All right, jump in the giveaway. All right, YouTube can see us. You guys can see us right there. We're going to kind of call it even in between the two. Now this, I'm just using this because we're out in the garage. The one that I did for the video, watch for that. That's going to come out on YouTube and Facebook and that. We actually did it out on the grill, outdoors, and used a cast iron skillet to grill the bread. It was awesome. And then we made a big hoagie one and stuck that directly on the grill. But right now we're going to do this. Do you sell fertilizer too? No, I don't. I sell a kit. And we'll be doing that like Friday night. And we put a little sample of the fertilizer in there. But the one that I use is General Hydroponics Maxi Grow. And you can just find that on Amazon. All right, it's warming up. Your little wooden spoon. Y'all know how to do this, right? Guys, with this, sometimes if you want to, this is how we used to do it in a restaurant, is that we would build the sandwich out. I put the corned beef, and some people use pastrami. I don't think pastrami is called something else, but we put corned beef, the Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and the dressing, and put the top in, and we just flip it, right? To me, this right here, this is like real liquidy, right? I always get like a mushy sandwich. I got like a Whataburger has a Reuben, and I got it was just like this really soggy sandwich. It was really disappointing, right? But when you go ahead and do this, what I want to do is I'm going to toast both sides. I'm going to grill both sides. And this is what McDonald's, Burger King, if you get their buns, they started grilling, they started toasting the buns. It wasn't much to make it taste better. It was because it caramelized it and then it kept the condiments from soaking in. So that way when they put the ketchup and mustard on and you got it, it wasn't like a big soggy mess. Let that go for another second. Get a towel. But this is just what I do, you know, with different things. I want to show people like different things that you can do with microgreens. Like, look at all that. And this is cooked down. So this was about, imagine about 2 of these right there. Cooked down in this. And I had twice as much of this because we already made like half the sandwiches. All right, we're going to flip it over. It's got a little crispy on there. I'll pull it out in a second. We'll put it right down here. But you got a question? 1 minute. Mike, are those greens grown with nutrients or just water? Mine don't get that big. With nutrients. Even this is with nutrients. You can get it almost this big with just water, but this is what this nutrients down here. I haven't refilled this yet. So you're not using a whole lot of nutrients. So this is microgreens where you would harvest them and start over. This is baby greens back here. Right? They're not going to get this big with just water. You're going to need nutrients for that. That's why I got my self-watering adapter on there. And that's what we harvested, and that's what we made that with. All righty, both sides are a little toasty. What side can y'all see? The back end? We're going to put some corned beef. I think if you use pastrami, I've seen a lot of recipes, a lot of YouTube videos, and some people are putting pastrami. I think that's called a Rachel or something instead of a Reuben. It's something different. But Reubens are 7 seconds. Reubens are usually made with corned beef. If you want to make this really good, get the thick chunks of corned beef and put that in. We used to do that at Cracker Barrel. Who won? RL Jess, congratulations. All right, I'm going to, let's see, we'll put the cheese over on this side. That's going to stop everything from soaking into there. All right, this, look guys, this is all, turn that down a little. See that juice? Look at that. Is that cool? So if they tell you to eat something like eat the rainbow, look at that color that comes out of that. That's the red acre cabbage. So this is our homemade, fresh red acre cabbage sauerkraut. Only took like 15 minutes to make, right? Put a big old pile on there. This what we're gonna say, stop the garnishing, right? Because that's what everybody shows. They make microgreens and they take it and sprinkle it on stuff, right? You don't want to do that. Look how much you pile that up. All right. This is homemade Russian dressing. Put that on there. So see why we grill both sides? You'd be getting really messy. Get this bad boy up with the cheese. Look how toasty that is. See if we can get this out here for y'all. Oh my God, see how quick that was? And we made our own dressing and we've got the sandwich made already. Look at this. Look at that. Before I might drop it, but look at that. That's a Reuben. That's what red acre cabbage. That's what fresh. That's microgreens. That's what you want to do. Now you can go ahead and garnish it all you want. You can make a little pile of microgreens. See if I can move this out of the way. We'll cut that sandwich. Yeehaw. Ooh, there's some Swiss cheese still in that pan. I want to grab it. These little induction cookers are like really, really handy. I don't plug that. We don't need it anymore. Guys, I could use that little induction cooker and harvest that pak choy back there. Here we go. Here, let me cut this in half. But how easy was that? So when I put the video out, y'all watch for the video. I show how to make this right here. Okay, and you saw me make that right there. Hear that crunch? Can you hear it crunch? That's awesome. Like I said, I went and got one from Whataburger. Maybe it's because, you know, it was by the time I got home, but it was soggy. It was a big soggy mess. And I'm used to eating Reubens like this, where you bite it and it's like crunch, right? My goodness. Look at that. How quick was that? That's a Reuben. That's a Reuben with fresh red acre cabbage sauerkraut. All right. So now if you want to put that on your plate, you can get a fancy plate and everything, or you can just paper plate it. This is how we roll. Now, if you want to, and this is what everybody does, right? When you're talking about microgreens, now they're just talking, you know, they just garnish it like that. This thing is filled with microgreens, right? What's in the bowls? This is homemade Russian dressing. I just showed them how to make it. I'll explain it in a second. And this is our red acre cabbage microgreens. We made it into a fresh slaw, not slaw, sauerkraut. You see that color? Look at that color, that purple. You could dye a shirt with that, right? So I love stuff like this. You know, you get bored just doing like this. You get your pak choy, you get your broccoli, you get your, you know, just greens, and everybody's just like garnishing stuff like, ooh, microgreen superfood, right? You're not gonna get a whole lot from that. Use it for garnish if you like, but go ahead and you got to eat more. You got to eat more, and that's one thing. I know the microgreen growers, they want you to eat more, but I can't afford it. If you guys saw, we had 8. Imagine this twice as big. So you'll see the video. The video will be out on YouTube and Facebook. Imagine this twice as big. So imagine this. The leaves are this big because they were planted at the same time. So I had 8 of these, right? Now imagine if you had to go buy that much microgreens at the store. How much would that cost? Somebody guess. Somebody just put, anybody that buys microgreens at the store, I haven't bought like in years and years, so I have no idea. So $50, $100, $40. So if you were just doing this and making like sandwiches for your family, you wouldn't go out and spend that much on microgreens, right? I mean, I want it. But guess what? That much that we harvested, 8 of these, comes to about $2. That's it, worth of seeds. And we got pea gravel in here, which we use over and over. We clean the adapter, we use that over, and it's mason jars, we clean it. So $2 worth of seeds. Y'all watch for the video because I'm going to show you, we had a colander about this big, and it's just full of them. Because you know when you cook it, it cooks down, right? But look at this. Who wants that? That's a Reuben sandwich. That's cool. Guys, I don't want to destroy my sandwich. before people come in here. But I want to taste some of the slaw. I'm going to eat a little. See, if you just gave that to someone, they couldn't tell the difference in the slaw and the sauerkraut. And it was fresh. It was made in like 10 minutes. Now, if you want to put caraway seeds in, you can. My wife doesn't care for it, so I just leave it out. Are you going to put out a microgreen cookbook? We might. Who knows? Where this, I really have respect for like all the cooking channels out there, because I went on over and said last night, I said, I'm going to make Reubens. And I went to the store and got stuff this morning. I spent like 12 to 14 hours like making a sandwich. Now, you know, all of us, we just put it together real quick, right? But I had to go ahead and get all of the mayonnaise, you know, all the stuff for the dressing. You guys can just go buy Russian dressing if you like. I like making our own. The, you know, sauerkraut, you can go get it. But I just want you guys to know this is just a way that you can get a load. You saw how much I loaded up, right? Look at that. So that's a load of microgreens, right? And all the color and everything in there. So I loaded this sandwich up with it. That's a tasty sandwich. Russian is great to pour over roasted potatoes. Oh my God, that sounds good. How did you make the cabbage? Sorry, I'm like, hey, hummingbird. Now I'll tell you real quick. I just splashed purple anthocyanins all over here. We had got our microgreens, right? You can use them like this. These, if you get them like this, they're even more tender. All right. So you don't really have to cook them much. You know, cabbage is really tough and you have to cook it down. If you do sauerkraut, you got to ferment it and leave it go for a while, right? These are really tender. That's why we like using them. That's why we like kale. And we grow a lot of dino kale, baby kale, curly kale, and all of that. Collards, because you can cut it. It's really tender. If you just throw this in a salad, you just chew it up. If you go over and you try to eat raw kale, you got to sit there and massage it with like salts and stuff and try to break up the fibers, do all kind of funky stuff. This, we grew it out this big, right? That's still tender. That's not, right? That's not tough like a thick piece of cabbage. But look at the color on it. If you squeeze in, look at all the colors that come out of it, right? Look how dark it is. So we had 8 of these, hummingbird. It was time to harvest. So I had 8 of them, and I want to replant, start over, because I've got more like these, and I got more coming, more on the way. So we got 8 more like this. So that's part of the continuous harvest system. So I harvested 8 of those. We took the pan, sweat it, chopped up some onions, sweat the onions in a little olive oil, right? Just pour the olive oil in. And look, you can take your bottle and you can grow this. Look at that. Ah! Look at all that. See the olive oil in the middle, the olive oil bottle? So we're using olive oil, and then we're growing with it too. It's awesome. So you put the olive oil, your onions, sweat the onions, took all those microgreens. It was about a colander full. Put that in there. Half a cup of apple cider vinegar. Half a cup of real apple juice. I use the unfiltered, unsugared one. You can use any kind you want. And then a little salt and pepper. And I believe that was it. And we took that and just reduced it down. Oh, and then a tablespoon of sugar. I used stevia. So we've got what's the I forget what the name is. And so you put a little bit of sugar. You can put less. So if you want to put a teaspoon, it kind of just balances it out so that it just doesn't taste like straight vinegar. You know, when you eat sauerkraut, you know, it tastes a little sour, but it's not like eating vinegar, right? So the sugar kind of balances out a little bit. So just kind of adjust that. You might want to start with 1 teaspoon, add a little more, and then just salt and pepper if you need. But red cabbage, when you add vinegar, it turns purple like this, right? I think you can use it for like a pH test. And if you use baking soda, it'll turn more pink or something. But so that right there, we just cooked down for about 10 minutes and then took it and let it cool. How long did you have to cook the cabbage for? That just 10 minutes. If you let it grow out where they're like pretty big, you know, the stems are getting kind of thick like that, you might want to cook it a little bit longer or chop it up. We didn't even chop it up. We like harvested it and put them all in whole like that. That's why they look, you see all the stems like that. You can take it and actually just harvest it like this and just get the leaves if you don't want the stems. Then you don't have to cook it for like 5 minutes because these are like really soft. You can just eat those. So I cooked it about 10, 15 minutes. Stir fry. Stir fry is awesome. Guys, let me show you that. All right, anybody else want to give away? Who wants this? I'm sure we will all have more recipe ideas. Cool deal. Well, this one I just made a video because we had to harvest the red cabbage. So we went and did that. And I just decided to pop on here since I already had, you know, the stuff made. And then I'm going to go sit and eat this one. And let me see. Here, before we go, if anybody wants. Here, I'll do this. Milford spice. All right. Who wants that? First pickle, street corn, Hawaiian chicken and shrimp, tomato, basil, garlic, honey chipotle, and morning in Tuscany. That's the one. That's the one I eat like almost every morning. I put that with my olive oil. Guys, this is olive oil. This is the best. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but that's, you can't make like health claims in that. But this, I love this stuff. I drink it. I could drink that bottle. But I take that and I put this, or you can use Italian herbs or herbs de Provence or something like that, and use that for dipping. Any heavily used stabilization, clenching gems. Not sure. You like the evening in Tuscany? That one's got a little bit of a bite to it, right? All right, guys, here. I think it's going to be a little over. Whoops. All right, I didn't give everybody a chance. Latane, congratulations. I'm going to do one more. Let me see if I got anything else. Latane, I knew she's going to win. Was that for 3? Yeah. I've got 1, 2, 3. Here's more too. Let me see what I got. Oh, it's more morning in Tuscany. And make sure they're not open. That one's not open. Fish Delish. Pontiac Trail Pig. Wonder what that's for. I got a bunch of morning in Tuscany, so I'll give y'all that. But this is a tester. All right, y'all got to be quick, okay? Lemon garlic salt. It's called lemon garlic salt. This is pretty good. Probably like on artichoke and stuff like that. All right, I try not to push the button. My thing glitched out. I'm doing it from over here. All right, everybody be quick. Pontiac is barbecue and it's awesome. Oh, cool. All right, that's in here. Pontiac Trail. All right, it's running. There we go. It's still running. You know, Latane had to win something, right? Even if we're on here for only 20 minutes. Guys, I think these go for over 20 bucks on sale. You know, when they're having their, what you call it, right? top box and give you number 2. Mark it. There we go. Now the bottom. Nope, it's still top. Morning in Tuscany. It's got Tuscany, Fish Delish, Pontiac Trail, and lemon garlic salt. I'm going to change my name to Latane. Me too. Everybody will be Latane 1, Latane 2, Latane 3. No, that's cool. So who like that? Who's got some more ideas? Somebody give me some ideas of what you want. And we'll cook some stuff up. We're going to try to do things like I said. All I see people doing is using this like garnish or like an omelet. It's like a popular thing. They just throw some stuff on. Some will throw a little bit more, a little bit less, right? You don't really see people like cooking with the like using a bunch. And I think the reason why is because it costs so damn much, right? If you go out and you go buy, you know, this is like one of those clamshells right there, right? So if you go and buy that, what's that? Like the cheapest, like $5 or $8, right? And then depending on where you're at or if it's organic and all of that, you know, that it goes up and up. So if you're going to do a massive amount like what I try to teach you guys to eat, it's not really going to be cost effective going out to the grocery store and just buying it like that. And if you go to the farmer's market, it's going to be even more. Oh, I use sauteed pea shoots like asparagus. That's awesome. Look at all the pea shoots. You can't even see. It says keep on growing. Keep on growing is back there. Can you see it now? I got to harvest those bad boys too. Pasta salad. Cool. Pasta salad and a pasta. But who likes that? Is that a good idea? If you had enough microgreens, like I said, I don't want you to go out and spend 40 or 50 bucks on microgreens to do this. But if you were able to grow it like this, you don't need like 8 mason jars. I mean, you could just have like 1 or 2 of these going, right? And I made like about 4 or 5 sandwiches with that already. So you can go over, and it took only 10 minutes to make this. You can just harvest like this much, take that, cook it down, have you a single portion to make 1 sandwich. Right? Guys, did y'all like the salt and pepper shaker? It lights up. Just in case you're eating in the dark. Right? So if you're eating in the dark, it lights up. I don't know why. It's pretty cool. I mean, isn't that fantastic? You can't even see the baking dish, right? Yeah, that was what not purchased. $5. Look, you can't even see the baking dish anywhere. And look at that olive oil bottle. That's a big olive oil bottle. Okay? And this is refillable with nutrients. We've already grabbed some off of here, guys. You just keep harvesting off of this. We're going to go ahead. I have no room. We only have a 3-foot rack in there. I've got more stuff. This pak choy. This is one of my, if you've been watching my channel for years, you see pak choy. They call me like a pak choy king, right? Because I had so much pak choy. This pak choy. Tai soy is a little bit more peppery. Did you soak them? Did you make sure to soak them? Oh, okay, you're talking about someone else. Fruitful Fancy. Somebody had a problem. I make omelet in the morning with kale. That's good. That's a good one. Here we go. 20 seconds, guys. So what we're doing is we're going to try to get people to, we want you to grow more because, no, just started some peas today. Oh, okay, just started. Awesome. Hey, 6 seconds. Now get running my mouth a little. I'll let you all go. Here we go. Who won? Sauteed onions. Hey, where's my bell? I had to move things around. I have my bell. Sauteed onions. That's awesome. So we had our first cooking show and whatnot, and sauteed onions came in and won a bunch of spices from Milford Spice. Guys, these people are here on YouTube. Also, I think they've only been here a couple months. They're getting close to 10,000 followers, but they're just awesome. So there you go. Thank you, Hummingbird. Jump on over there. Guys, we're gonna be making more food. We're gonna be making stuff. You know, whenever we show like throwing microgreens like on the side or making a little pile of microgreens with dressing, and people are always like smart and going, I can't eat like a rabbit. This is not rabbit food, right? We're going to show you how to take it. This little bit of microgreens, garnish, that's not barely anything. There's a ton of microgreens in there. And we're going to show you how to do different things. This is just one idea, one thing that we do with it. So people ask all the time, they're like, you know, when they see all the stuff we're growing, and they go, what do you do with all of that? You know, like they think we're growing it, you know, and we can, they said, do you sell it? And we said, no, we don't sell it. We eat it. And they're like, how do you eat it all? And it's just like that. So we took like 8 of these and cooked it down and made fresh sauerkraut. So now that tastes a lot better than anything you get in the store. My wife can't have fermented foods because of her histamine level. So if you got problems with histamine, you can go ahead and maybe make a little bit of this with you. Make sure to bookmark feature. Yeah, bookmark the shows up here. We're gonna have a bunch of giveaways and everything. Here, I'll give you one more before we go. Some more seeds. Everybody can always have more microgreen seeds, right? But the way everybody just takes the microgreens and just sprinkles it on everything like a chef, and they're like, oh, right? That's like if you take your multivitamins and put it in mortar and pestle and crush it up and take a little teeny pinch of it and eat it, right? So when they go over and they go, this superfoods, you know, and they try to, you know, sell you this for a lot of money saying it's a superfood, but they're only selling you enough, and their samples, what they're showing you to do is stuff like this. I don't care if it's a superfood, that's not enough to help you do anything, right? You got to eat quite a bit. So that's what we're doing. All the studies and everything are done like on 100-gram serving. So if you want, if you're looking at something that says like, you know, so many milligrams of this or that, it's per 100 grams. And if you're just sprinkling it on like this, if you go and buy, you know, a little teeny thing like this and you spread it out between a family of 4 or 6, it's not doing a whole lot of good. You know, it's better than nothing. But we want to show you guys ways that you're going to use your microgreens that you're going to get a lot more into your diet. And then so you don't break the bank, because I don't know about you, but if I go to the farmer's market and try to eat and go and buy the amount of microgreens that we grow and eat, if I try to go to the farmer's market every week, I'd be broke. So I can't afford it. If you can, that's fine. So that's cool. If people have enough money to go do that, that's awesome. But I want to help the people that can't. Go enjoy your Reuben, Mike. It's going to get cold. That's all right. I worked in the restaurant business for like 20 years. And we're the cooks. I was always like eating cold food and that. We just kept working and everything. All right, guys. We're going to pull this giveaway, all right? Make sure you're following. We'll jump back on here Friday night. I'm going to pull this giveaway, and then we're going to rate somebody. And y'all go ahead and message me or get ready Friday night. Bring your ideas in Friday night, what you want to see, different foods and everything. What's your favorite food? And we'll go ahead and get your microgreens into that mix, even if it's ice cream or something. It's like this is sauerkraut. Who would have thought of using microgreens for sauerkraut? And look at that color, right? All right, here's the winner. Who won? Well, Bob. Wow, Bob. Congratulations. All right, guys. Much love. Let's see who's on. Hey, let's go get some cookies. All right, love y'all.
Seven points. Holy smokes. Steph!
Let's
tonight. Let's go. All right, time out really quick. Time out. We done boys got a huge doesn't fall.
One second, YouTube, Facebook. All right, I'm gonna mute that. Michelle the Meadow was over there on YouTube, Facebook. Guys, we'll catch y'all later. We just signed off for whatnot. We did our cooking show. We got more coming up. All right.